In Japan's northern Hyogo Prefecture, the people of Tajima have always loved their local sake, kasumitsuru. Produced using the traditional Kimoto method, kasumitsuru has a fragrant bouquet and a silky palate, with a depth and smoothness that sake lovers find irresistible. Founded in 1725, for almost 3 centuries, the Kasumitsuru Sake Brewery has placed top priority on quality and on its roots in the local community, making it the pride of Tajima. When the weather turns cold in December, the sake brewing season has arrived. First, the rice is steamed for about 50 minutes. As the saying goes, where there's good water, there's good sake. Quality sake depends on rice and water. In the koji making step, a yellow koji mold converts the starch in the rice into sugars. The sugars serve as nutrients for fermenting yeast that produce alcohol. Saccharification and fermentation occur simultaneously, a technique unique to sake called multiple parallel fermentation. When brown rice is milled to remove the outer layer containing protein and fat, the white rice that remains has a very high starch content. After steaming, the white rice is cooled to about 32 degrees Celsius and is sprinkled with koji mold. The koji mold breaks down the starch in the steamed rice to produce glucose. On the second day, to control the mold's growth, the rice and koji mold are constantly monitored and mixed frequently to lower the temperature and release moisture. Constant watching, touching, and smelling. Koji making is considered the most important step in sake brewing. Proper temperature management and moisture control require years of experience backed by reliable data. After 2 days of this process, the koji is ready. Mototate is preparation of the yeast starter. Steamed rice is first cooled to about 40 degrees, then wrapped in cloth to keep it firm, and then gradually cooled further. It takes around 3 hours to cool the rice to about 20 degrees in this ikemeshi process. The ikemeshi, koji mold, and water are equally portioned into 8 tubs for the shikomi mashing process. The temperature here is between 10 and 11 degrees. After about 2 to 3 hours, when the rice has absorbed all the water, it's carefully mixed. This process is called temoto. To ensure uniform consistency, temoto is performed twice more at 2-hour intervals. About 18 hours after shikomi, the softened ikemeshi and koji mixture is carefully crushed and mashed with wooden paddles in a process called yama oroshi. Mashing the ikemeshi and koji to promote saccharification is hard work and symbolic of the Kimoto method. Similar to temoto, yama oroshi is performed 3 times at 2-hour intervals. This carefully coordinated work proceeds at a purposeful pace. When yama oroshi is complete, the contents of the 8 tubs are combined into 1 tank, a process called motoyose. After motoyose, the mash is maintained at a temperature of 6 to 7 degrees for 3 to 4 days to grow the denitrifying bacteria needed for the moto in the Kimoto method, a process called utase. On the 6th day, the moto is warmed with containers of hot water to promote the growth of natural lactic acid bacteria and gradually kill off other bacteria and wild yeast. Unique in all the world, the Kimoto method uses low-temperature management and lactic acid bacteria fermentation to produce large quantities of pure, robust, high-quality yeast. When the sugar and lactic acid levels are just right, cultured yeast is added and the mash is warmed again. When the temperature reaches 15 to 17 degrees, foam produced by carbon dioxide appears. At day 20, when alcohol and lactic acid are produced, the temperature is lowered to maintain the quantity and activity of the cultured yeast. The moto is then allowed to mature for about 7 days. A month after mototate began, the yeast starter is finally complete. Now it's time to prepare the main mash or moromi, a process consisting of hatsuzoe, nakazoe, and tomezoe. Hatsuzoe is followed by a day of rest to promote yeast growth. Then nakazoe and tomezoe are added to the mash. Keeping the moromi below 13 degrees achieves the characteristic himoto taste. 60 days after the milled rice was washed, and 26 days from the start of moromi preparation, a rich-tasting, silky smooth sake is born with a fragrant bouquet and a complex palate, the irresistible appeal of Kimoto sake. With growing interest in health and authenticity, Kimoto sake is gaining a following both in Japan and overseas. Blessed with a lush natural environment, Kasumitsuru's home of Tajima in Hyogo Prefecture also has a rich cultural tradition. A pleasantly varied climate throughout 4 seasons, a pristine natural environment, pure natural water, high-quality rice, and great-tasting sake, all are found in Kasumitsuru's home of Tajima. The people of Tajima have always cherished nature, and in return, nature has given them many blessings. Tajima also boasts a rich culinary tradition, of which kasumitsuru is one outstanding example. For the joy and pleasure of sake lovers everywhere, kasumitsuru remains true to the time-honored tradition of the Kimoto method and continues to brew great-tasting sake here amid the lush natural surroundings of Tajima. A toast to Tajima. A toast to remember with kasumitsuru.